Bienvenidos a Wassup Flobo After Hours. Soy Flobito, el gringo moreno, su primo favorito, un tipo regular en el hilo de la gran manzana. I'm hanging out. I finally made it past Easter. Take that, Lent. I ate all the sugar and I drank all the alcohol because I'm feeling myself right now. Episode 40 of Wassup Flobo After Hours. Thank you so much for joining me in the treehouse. We have a fantastic panel coming on. Before I do, got to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much to the members of the boisterous crew. You know, you're talking about people on that Patreon side who support this show and all the other content I'm working on. I actually have some exclusive shows like Flopito's Book Club or the comedy specials, special edition of Flobo Star on Netflix exclusively on Patreon. So thank you all there. I give a shout out to Christopher C, Christy H, ACH, Edric P, Oliver E, Princess Leia, Matthew C, Lindsay U, and Richard R. You make this show a reality, and you too can do that by hitting up patreon.com/FloboBoys. Well, as you can tell by my terrible intro, I'm being joined by fantastic people who have once told me I should try this whole Spanish thing, but I'm terrible at it. We're going to talk about that and more. And if you have questions for them, make sure you hit me on that Facebook, that YouTube, that Twitter, and that Twitch with all your questions here today. But now, introducing first, the man that people say is the Slayer. You can know him. You can find him at concerts all over LA. This guy is doing his workout regimen. He's building things with his bare hands. He's a designer. Give it up for Josh in the booth.
Hello, hello. Welcome to my corner. Baseline.
I love the fact you brought the gear with you, man. How you doing, man? It's been a while.
I'm doing pretty well. Doing pretty well. It's like they got. I don't even know what to say anymore. I don't know. I'm just so happy to be here. Yeah.
You just sound smooth as silk, man. What up, man? How's the missus? She good?
Yeah, she's doing really good right now. She actually had a little get together with a friend tonight, so I guess they had like some ceviche tonight or something. So
okay, yeah,
I didn't get ceviche, but whatever, it's all good.
I like ceviche if it doesn't have shellfish, because otherwise I'll die. But moving on, someone who doesn't want to see me dead is what I like to call one of my favorite people on the planet. In fact, she is mi prima. Give it up for a Cafe con Leslie host, Leslie Colon. How you doing?
Hello, I am so good. I'm happy to be here, and that is right. You are my family. I'm so proud of you, by the way. That intro was perfect.
No, it was bad. Listen, you got to stop encouraging me. Stop encouraging.
Hey, you got to remember, for those of you who didn't know, he went through a whole hour show speaking Spanish.
We talked about that before. It's terrible. It's an awful idea.
I have the details.
But speaking about somebody who really does Spanish low-key, you can hear his songs in Espanol on that Spotify from all over the world, but also claims New Eureka as the actual location. We talked about this last night. Give it up for the man, the myth, the legend, James Lott Junior. Well, he's already shaking his head no at me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Why is he?
already. Let us be malo.
Yes,
That's
yes.
okay.
So, I mean, Espanol has been mine. Well, give it up to everyone in the chat hanging out. Dylan Matthews, Haywood Wong, Kirsten. Thank you, Kirsten Murray. Thank you so much. And Haywood Wong shooting a shot early, bro.
Wow.
I never got besitos. I've only got stressitos, but never besitos.
Apparently, everyone's learning Spanish here.
Yo, so
they are.
Yeah, I guess it's scandalous. Easter come and gone. You guys celebrate it well? How was your Easter? Josh, I'm starting with you.
Yeah, I had my first piece of meat in over 40 plus days, so that was pretty good.
Oh, you gave up meat completely?
Yeah, it's been a tradition of mine for the past, I don't even know how long, 7 years or so. So it's just pretty much giving meat and then giving up something else. So this year was meat. And decided to take a break from social media. So it was definitely very, very needed. So yeah, just having that month month plus to just myself and just, getting rid of that vice in a sense, because nowadays this is a vice sort of, I guess, instead of a tool. But yeah, I definitely feel refreshed and, getting back on to social media and stuff. I'm just what did I miss? Not much apparently, but it's all good. But yeah, prime rib.
Wait, hold on. No meat and no social media. That's my entire deal. It's meat, social media, and caffeine. That's all I run on. And you just said, I'm out?
Yeah.
Did your life change? Did you become a different person?
No, not really. I mean, I'm very, I don't know. I'm just weird. Sometimes I'll have these vegetarian vegan kicks where I'm just like, I just won't want to eat meat for a while. So I'll just go vegetarian or vegan for a bit. And I'm just like, all right, yeah, let's get some meat again. So I don't know.
Man, you should get like a first class pass to heaven for that one, man, for
Yeah.
sure. Leslie, let me ask you, how was your Easter? How'd you celebrate? Did you celebrate?
Well, yeah, mine was good. It was chill. It's a little different in my household right now because my mom is in Mexico, so she's on vacation, and it's just my siblings and I. So it wasn't anything too crazy. We just went out to dinner. So it was very different this year. But hey, right now, I'm just glad to be home with my family and that we're all healthy.
Did you give up advice for Lent or anything?
No, I am horrible. I did not give up anything this year.
No judgments. There's some years I forgot about it.
But I mean, every Friday, I obviously give up meat like we normally do. So that I do, but I just am very indecisive. So I just didn't come up with anything this year.
We all know James Lott Junior is a man without vices, but how did you celebrate your Easter, sir?
So I'm a lapsed Catholic. I'm not Catholic anymore. So I didn't. I ate all the meat I wanted. I had all the sugar I wanted for 40 days. I didn't give a shit. So now I talked to a person who actually I have a doctorate in divinity. I'm actually an ordained minister. But I don't do the Catholic stuff anymore. I was raised Catholic. My grandmother's rosaries are back there on the wall. I say hi to them all the time. I pray every morning. I actually pray every morning. But I don't give it. I don't give it. My mother gives. I mean, they're all Catholic, so they all give up all the stuff. So I didn't do all that. But I went to my house because I couldn't go see my kids and grandkids yet. I'm waiting for my second vaccination. So I went to my sister's house. They're vaccinated, and watched not my niece and nephew, my great niece and nephew, because I'm that old. Watch them do an Easter egg hunt on the couch. I sat on the couch when they ran outside and went crazy. So that's what I did for Easter.
Is that like a tradition, or is it like a 1 year thing with the difference of the pandemic and all that? You guys always do that?
Last year we were locked down, so I couldn't go anywhere. This time last year, I was around anybody. And before I go to Sacramento and be with my kids and grandkids, I'd be with them. Yeah, whatever they decide to do, I would do whatever they decide to do. But I haven't been that in a couple of years, so. This was something they live 2 blocks away from my house. I just walked over and watched them look for eggs. And watched them get hyped up on sugar. They got more sugar. It's like they're like 6 and 7 years old and whatever, and they're just like they're running around everywhere. And I was just like, Uncle James, Tio Jaime will sit over here in the corner on the couch.
Tio Jaime. Did they call you Tio Jaime?
Tio Jaime.
Oh,
hello! My family's half that.
It's like all James needs is just like a bottle of Modelo in the corner and just be like, all right, you kids do whatever you want.
You're invited to the carne asada. Don't worry.
That's it. You guys get me. You guys totally get me.
Yeah,
you totally get Tio.
Totally.
I'm that uncle.
Yo, real talk. I actually really wanted to be an uncle. Like that's like one of the things I wanted to be. And my brother's like, I don't got any kids. Like, come on, man. I don't want kids of my own. You were messing this up for both of us.
Oh no, I'm definitely going to be that crazy uncle if my sisters have kids. I mean, I already know. Like, my plan is if any of them have kids, I'm gonna show up to the birth in a tuxedo and like a suit and everything, just to give like a great first impression. That's
wow. Now that's at a whole other level.
That's not crazy. That's pretty suave, actually. Like, wait. What does crazy uncle mean, though? Are you the one that gives the advice? You're gonna give them the cigarettes? Like, what level of crazy we're talking about?
I don't know. Maybe just like skateboarding down a hill or something. Maybe I don't know.
Man. More like the fun uncle.
I'm the fun uncle. I come over. I say crazy things. I talk to them crazy. I play with them. You know what I mean? That's the fun thing. It's like I will play. I was like, sure, screw your parents. Let's do what they say. Don't do it.
Yeah.
I make fun of them and I make it fun. That's the fun part of being an uncle or an aunt.
Screw your parents. Here you go. Leslie, do you think about being the kind of aunt or like relative? Are you kind of like being yourself? Are you the fun one, the reserved one, or whatever?
Fun, yes. Of course, fun, yes. I am the youngest of my siblings, so I would be, that tia to take him to Disneyland, to go pick them up from a party that their parents didn't know about, and then low-key join them at the party.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be that Tia. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be, the fun one. I'm really excited to have a niece and nephew because I will be like a kid with them. I don't care. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say this. I remember I didn't have many like brothers and sisters on my dad's side, but I remember my godfather being the guy giving us $5 back when $5 was a lot of money, and like just being that cool person, and it always sticks with you. Question that comes from you, or statement from Haywood Wong says, "Fun fact: James related to an NFL Hall of Famer. My cousin played for the NFL for 3 seasons and washed out, but you actually are related to a Hall of Famer."
To Ronnie Lott.
No way.
He is my
What?
second cousin. Yes. And he,
Wow.
of course, from 49ers, then Kansas City Chiefs, and then, of course, Oakland at the end. Boo.
Yes, boo. I agree.
I hate Oakland Raiders. Don't get me started on that. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Leslie. Thank you. And I would say everybody in Los Angeles who's all into the Oakland, now they're Las Vegas Raiders, whatever. But
My whole
everybody in LA,
neighborhood is filled with Raiders.
let me tell you something. They don't like you. People in Oakland hate people in Los Angeles. I lived in Mexico for 16 years. They hate Southern Californians. So all you folks who love 49ers and everything, they don't want you. They don't care about you. That's no story. But yes, Ronnie and I, yes, we are related. A lot is not a common name, number one, first of all. And we found out. I found out we ran the same circle in San Francisco. That's how we met. We talked about it, and yes, we are related.
Can I talk about the Oakland Raiders later for a second? Like, because you're not a big sports guy, but the fire of that hate came out of nowhere. Like, what? Why?
Hey, Dylan.
Dylan Matthews says Los Angeles is the depth. I mean, this part. He's not wrong.
I'm not going to agree nor disagree, but I'm just going to nod and just like go.
Yeah, you're from LA.
Oh yeah, born and raised. Like I can tell you, there's some good parts, there's some bright spots, but then other parts are just pieces of shit.
Yeah, I agree, definitely.
What's up, James? You're from LA, though.
I'll defend LA. Screw all you people. I'll defend Los Angeles. Even the bad parts are better than some other parts of the country that I've lived in. Trust me. You don't want to live places.
As a guy who's been here about 13 years, I was gonna be like, no, LA's pretty cool, but then I got woken up by an earthquake this morning, and I wasn't feeling that. That 4 a.m. earthquake was not the business. I don't know why the ground had to move when I was sleeping. I wasn't feeling that at all.
But I've been in a tornado. I've been in tornado scares. I've been in hurricane situations. So I will take earthquakes any day.
I will take earthquakes any day. This guy is ridiculous.
James is like the natural disasters like bingo card, just like one away. He just needs that blizzard and it'll be good to go.
Yeah, imagine. Oh, you live in New York too.
Yeah,
my question is like, James, what haven't you done? Who don't you know? Like, you've done everything and know everyone.
My question exactly. Well, James, what if you have like 3 different lifetimes? Maybe you're immortal. Maybe it's like your 4th like body experience. But you have to do a blizzard as well in New York. So I gotta ask, like, how do you have so many lifetimes in one life? Tell me. Hard-hitting question.
That's a good question. You should be a host.
Good job.
You should be. You should try that someday. I know I'm a person who lived life really fully. I was born into a life of a multicultural family, and my father and mother each had lives, and somehow from the very beginning, I had all those experiences. I mean, it was just like going to New York at a young age. When I was from New York, going to Puerto Rico because I was from Puerto Rico, going to Louisiana. My father. I just learned all this stuff early on. And I was always a person who wanted to fully experience everything. So I would try things. I still do it now. I'll be 52 years old next month. And I've just always been this way. My mother came out of the womb, just always curious. And so I always tried things. And I just was like, I'm going to try this. And I was always open to experience. And I think it's what maybe that's why I've had so many careers. I tried out. I want to be a nurse, try it out. I don't do it anymore. Want to work in retail, worked in food service, did this. My godfather's Richard Dreyfuss. All kind of weird things that come out of everywhere. It's just like these weird things that happen in my life. And then I had jobs that would take me around the country. I would say yes to certain things, and I just meet people along the way. I'm a friendly person. I like people. So I meet people in weird situations. All of a sudden, how'd you meet Natalie Cole? Well, I spit on her by accident. And then I have this weird situations like come up in my life.
You can't just drop that and move. Hold on. What? You spit on Natalie Cole?
Oh, Boyce, I have a million of these. I have a million stories. I don't know. I have 10,000. I was talking to her, and I had a piece of food that I had earlier, and it spit up my breath.
That is a nightmare to have. That is definitely a nightmare.
Do you guys know that game 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon?
It is.
Yeah.
I think we should rename it to 6 Degrees of James Lott Jr.
Word. He's like, yeah, man, I high-five Obama once.
I've had
anyway.
I had friends who have gone to funerals of famous people, and they're like, we're talking about James Lott Jr. I know him too. He's great. I'm like, you had a funeral talking about me? Like, it's the craziest thing. I've had that happen several times. I went over here and I went to the store. I was literally in Miami one time at trying to check into my hotel on South Beach. And the guy's like, you're that guy from Dish and Days. I know you. You're James Lott Jr. I'm like, oh my God, you give me a bungalow and stuff. And it's really nice. And so I said, do you want to TV? I know it's weird. I'm like, I don't know who watched that show. But I was in Miami and he gave me a nicer room. And it's just really, it was unforgettable. That's right, Dylan Matthews. I love it. But it was just, I don't know. I'm a person who has had interesting good luck and bad luck. I've had both in my life. And so it's made for, I don't know. I've done it all basically and seen it all just about.
Leslie, have you met any celebrities? Do you have any celebrity stories? I'm just curious.
Well, aside from me doing an interview with one, yes. So I got to interview Jenny Rivera's son, who is like a really famous singer that I grew up like, that was my idol. I loved her. So after she passed, her kids had a reality show.
Yeah.
And once I was able to interview like her youngest son, it was literally like, oh my goodness, this is like the best thing ever. And mind you, I had a really bad migraine before that interview. I probably threw up like 3 times before I went into the studio because it was that bad. And it's when you have a migraine, it's really hard, like with the bright lights. And in the studio, we're surrounded by bright lights. I don't know how I got through the interview. It was a great interview. And I just look back, I'm like, wow, I'm going to be proud of myself for that one.
Yeah.
But aside from that, like when I worked like red carpets, like PR events, yeah, I mean, I've seen them, but I've never actually like had like a personal conversation. Aside from like, I'll hold your coffee or I'll go do this for you.
Yeah. Did it like, was it everything you dreamed of? Is that weird to say?
It's weird, especially because I worked a red carpet and then it was a fashion show. So I had like this impression of people in a reality show that like they look so different in person. I'm like, what? You don't look like what you look like on camera and stuff like that.
I hear the sass and shade. You don't look like what I
thought
you
because
you are not AC ready, ma'am.
It's weird.
Leslie, I want Chiquis to be my best friend. I want her so bad. I want to be her best friend. I want to be her best friend. Her and Lorenzo are so cute together. I love that family and I love that show.
Sorry to break it to you, but they are broken up for the second time.
Dang it.
Yeah, it's like not good. Like she went on this other show and shaded him and like, yeah, she's on a whole like it's all about me now. I don't need a man, which I completely like vibe with, but I don't know. I feel like
but I completely understand.
No, but I feel like Lorenzo was a really nice guy. And
I think so too, right? He was a nice
guy. Just weird. For you guys who don't know, it's the Rivera family. They're very popular in the Latin community.
I like that Netflix show. That was a pretty good show.
Oh, did you watch all of it?
I saw some of it. My sisters and my mom went crazy over it. Like I saw a few episodes, and I'm just like, okay, now I see why you guys are yelling at like everyone on the TV. I'm just like, all right, I'll leave you be.
Kardashian flow. Real quick, shout out to Nisa Blar. Says, I miss you guys.
Oh, Nisa.
Hey, Nisa.
Can't get you on doing these shows soon already. Yo, Slayer, have you gotten to any celebrity tussles, fisticuffs, flim flam, rigmarole?
I have, yeah. Because of doing martial arts for like over 10 years, I've met like a few good people, a lot of good people. I think my NDAs are up, so I think I'm at liberty to discuss it with them. So,
oh wow, assassin Josh over here.
Yeah, okay. No. I guess the biggest one would be what was it? 2014. It was for prepping up for his film for Suicide Squad. It was Will Smith. That was a really cool experience.
Yeah. Will Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
Really
one
cool.
of my idols.
Really cool experience. Like I've met a lot of famous people. I've met a lot of celebrities. I've met a lot of actors. Never gotten starstruck, not once. But Will Smith, since I'm a '90s kid. I grew up on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I grew up on Independence Day. I grew up on a whole bunch of his like movies and films and TV shows. And so meeting him in person, I was just like, oh shit! Like it was crazy experience ever. It was a crazy experience ever. And I remember just like grappling with them. I remember sparring with them. I remember kickboxing with them. I remember just like running basic like techniques with them. It was just like this. It was the most surrealist experience ever, to the point where I used that as my when I was on Bumble. I used that as like a 3 truths and a lie. So the 3 truths and a lie that I picked was training with Will Smith, almost dying in Mexico, and getting kicked out of a Taco Bell. So guess which one's the lie out of those 3?
Taco Bell, they let anyone stay around. Yeah, they totally anyone say. You would have to be a terrorist to kick out of Taco Bell, man.
I know, right?
wait, hold on. I mean, this is totally a moot point now. You shout to your girlfriend, but you picked Bumble. Like you were a Bumble dude.
I was on Bumble. Like the last time we discussed it on your show, just a Sparks version of it. My dog almost died. I was at the vet's hospital. I was just waiting there for hours. Saw an advert for Bumble, downloaded it, and just kind of just did that for like a couple of months. Went on a few dates, and that's where I met my girlfriend. So yeah,
you got lucky because she's super cool.
She is. I did all the apps and got nothing. It's fine. I don't need this. We're out of time.
I could not ever imagine Josh in the booth over there ever angry. I can't picture you angry. I can't picture you upset. You're like the nicest person. I can't
just beat up Will Smith. What are you talking about? He just knocked him out.
I can't picture it. You're like a big teddy bear. I can't picture it.
I'll say this, like over this past year, I've been working on it because like outside of this whole spectrum, like I do kind of get a little frustrated. I do kind of get a little annoyed. I do get angry, but like not for legitimate reasons. It's like always little things that kind of like minute things just kind of set me off and everything. But, I've used this past year to just kind of just like get away from that and just like vent a little bit healthier about that. Like before, like obviously I'm pretty sure all of you know, it's just kind of like a machismo thing. Men never talk about their feelings and everything, which is kind of a toxic thing because if you never really discuss about how you feel, it just internalizes you and it just kind of eats you up on the inside to the point where you just kind of just for the littlest things you just have like these outbursts to like your loved ones, your family, your friends, and everyone, and it's not the healthiest thing in the world. So learning to express myself now, I just feel so much better with it.
Wow, that was beautiful.
I like the fact you said machismo, and both James were like, that bullshit. I can't work with that. I was like, okay.
Very Hispanic, very yes, very much.
Well, I don't want to go that road because it seems that it's very triggering, but it's great that you're able to see what works for you on the mental level.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You had mentioned before, Josh, I'll start with you with this, the social media thing. You had take a break for Lent and all that. But I go perusing on your social media channels, and you built a twin bed by hand. Are you this handy? Walk me through this. First of all, why? Second of all, why? And third of all, good job, man. That's awesome. But why?
No, I've always been pretty handy. If not, like over the years, I've just been learning and learning. I used to work construction for a bit, so that kind of helped me out for a little bit. And so I just built that twin bed for my dad. He was having some, issues and whatnot. So he got an apartment with a native, my sister. And then, so she kind of tasked me, it's like, hey, can you build a twin bed for him? I was like, yeah, sure. And then I just kind of just looked at some specs online. I'm just like, okay, eyeball it. So I just measured the measurements, just made cuts, drilled the wood, and that was pretty much it. It was pretty simple, actually. So I don't know.
I'm watching this going, the craftsmanship. He's like, yeah, I eyeballed it. For real? it's all right.
Yeah. Geez, what else have I done? I've made that closet. It used to have a dresser, gutted it out, and just like put some shelvings on it and everything. Made my sister's closet outside. Ooh. What else have I done?
He's a man. He's a real man.
He's a real man.
Yeah.
And he's in touch with his feelings too. Oh, and he's off the market.
No, I've done just like little odds and ends and whatnot. And then I think the next project right now is, it's kind of been like on hold, on pause, but every now and again when I could get the chance, I do. Is building the outdoor gym a little bit more. So still trying to level it out the floor and everything, and eventually try to see if I could contract some people just to like put some cement in the back and just have it nice and leveled and just move all the machine work and everything over there. And then my mom was actually mentioning about I think a rowing machine or some type of elliptical machine over at Costco. She was telling me about, so I'm gonna go take a look at that and see what's up with that and just invest into that, and some kettlebells too. So yeah.
Kettlebells are good. I have one of those too. Well, James, I want to ask you about the beds you made, but I was wanted to ask you about your social media presence. Like, what goes into the process? You have the shows you promote, then you have to get a little picture of yourself doing real world things. Do you think about that going in, or it's kind of like whatever I'm feeling like today, I post? Like, what's the mental thing behind that? Well, there you have it. Y'all.
I wish I could tell. I wish I could tell you it was methodical. I wish I could tell you there was a science to it. It is whatever the F I do every day. I wake up and I go, okay, I need to post these 5 things and maybe throw these things in the middle of it. Sometimes it's last minute. It is just, I try to give a well-rounded view of what goes on in my life. I do a lot of stuff, LOTT. And so I try to show a piece of that. I'm not promoting my stuff, of course. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. Yes. But also, I don't want to be a person who just promotes just my stuff all the time. So I choose a few things here and there on there, like the birth of my new grandson. I posted that on there. That's pretty cute. And yes, I haven't met him yet. I get to meet him soon, hopefully. And then, or a picture of me and my twin mother. I'll put that on there once in a while to like spice it up. Or a picture of myself. I don't do very many selfies. I don't do a lot of selfies, but I do stuff on there sometimes. But it's literally just day by day. I just put stuff on there wherever, I don't really think about that much. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's part of my life is what it is. It's just part of my life. I know when I wake up and throughout that day, I'll post stuff.
Yeah,
stuff will come out. Now my story's maybe a little more methodical because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go do these 5 things. Because people watch my stories for some weird reason. I'll post the story. I'll choose what I'm gonna post on there. But I don't know. It's not that. It's just a natural. I just post this show or post this thing. And I also like to go through my friends' stuff and retweet their things and share their things in my stories. I do that all the time. I try to see what they're promoting. I think it's very important to support your community. And that's my community of folks out there who are doing positive things. So I try to post something of theirs and on my story also. Take that time. It takes 2 seconds to do that. So I try it also.
That's what's up. But speaking of making things happen, Leslie, I'm on your social media channel, and I'm just jealous because she has eyebrow people, she has nails people, she has a fashion shoot happening. She's out there on the creek. She's in San Diego County. Walk me through this. The glam shoots. What's going on? Can I get a glam shoot?
You're making me nervous.
No, can I get a glam shoot? I'm trying to get my own glam shoot.
Let me call my people and make it happen. Well, it's funny because I feel like I don't do enough on Instagram. I was actually just thinking about this earlier today because I was looking at like all your posts and you're constantly promoting your stuff. And I'm like, I feel like I can do a little bit more in regards to like promoting my show, not only just because I always just do stories, but not feed posts. And I'm like, oh, okay, like maybe I should balance it out a little bit more. But like every single like social media of mine is completely different. Like Instagram is more of like who I am, what I've done, of course, selfies and stuff like that. But then Facebook, which you have me on there, it's like family, which I know, Flobo, you've seen like, the comments and the support is different on Facebook. That's mostly like for my family in Mexico. And then Twitter is obviously to hang out with my friends like Derek and Haywood and Dylan. Oh, Derek, you're so nice. Always still a Rey Mysterio fan, of course. But yeah, okay, we're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into that today, Flobo. We're not.
Nope. But yeah, I like the fact that like you do have a little bit of like a what's it called, a brand with your Instagram. My thing is really promote after hours. One, I usually do like a video of a show I did, and like the third one's like a fun one. Like the one time I took a picture of myself out in the street under a rain cloud. I thought I was like, it's me under a rain cloud. But everyone was like sliding in my DMs like, damn, bro, let me see more of that. You're like, that's gross because I'm wearing a mask, you creep. But it's kind of weird because I don't know what the balance is. So it's cool to see how you guys are growing your presence on all different sides or whatever. One of these, is that the baby?
I saw that comment about the Dylan's comment about the photo shoot of for Tinder and Bumble. If we can get Flobo to do this pose right here.
Oh my goodness.
George Costanza. If we can get Flobo to do that, that'd be amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Timeless art of seduction. Let's get Flobo to do that.
I'd be batting away with the stick, man. That'd be too many in my DMs.
Hey, I agree. So do I. Shout me out.
Yeah, man. Share what you can. That's what I'm saying. You know how it is. Working this after hours thing. Moving on. Got a question for you guys. It's WrestleMania week. Wrestling. So much wrestling. You just can't stand it between WWE and NXT every single day. James, I want to get you involved. Hold on, bro. I'm getting there. He's like, I don't know what this is. I know. Look, biggest week of the year. Are you guys doing anything special? I'm going to start with you, Josh, for it. I know if you can be jaded, you can be all about it. What's the deal?
Kind of in between mix. I am interested in the triple threat match between Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, and Edge. I'm really excited to see Edge back into the mix of that. What else? Bobby Lashley has just been really killing it this last couple weeks or so, last month. I mean, everything. I mean, listen, better than all the stuff that he was doing with Lana. We discussed this already.
Yes, we have.
Big time.
Major upgrade. I mean, is there some things that aren't the greatest in the world? Yeah, but it's like miles from what it was like last year and everything. So I'm really I've been a fan of Bobby Lashley since he debuted back in 05, 06, I think. I'm not 100% sure.
About that ECW time, yeah.
Yeah, so I was just a really big fan of him, and then when he got into mixed martial arts, I started following his career there. So when he transitioned to Impact, that's what I knew he was starting to develop himself as a main event player. And so when he signed back with WWE, he was doing the good guy shtick, and then next thing you know, he's ending up with a infidelity angle with Lana and Rusev. That was just a mess. So I'm really happy for him that he's getting the opportunity to be pushed as the figure of the main event scene for the WWE. So I'm really
not to mention that Lashley wrestled on behalf of the former president of the United States, Donald Trump. That's neither
here nor there. So let's if anyone have a broom, let's just sweep that.
Yeah.
Next question.
Yes, but Leslie, I mean, I know sometimes we talk about at least before off air, we're talking about how it could be too much and how we're still in it though. What has been your approach to WrestleMania this year? You're all about it, not feeling it. Where do you stand?
I'm interested because I feel like last year we were all very confused when this pandemic had just started. We had no idea what this was, and now we're kind of used to no crowd but the noise. So it's gonna be interesting. I don't know how I feel about the 2 nights still. I feel like it's kind of pushing it a little bit, but for example, I Banks and Bianca, that's gonna be the best. I'm really excited for that. But then my question is, does main event on day 1 mean exactly the same as main event on day 2? Is it still a big deal? Because you're technically still having 2 main events.
I would say, yeah, it's kind of, if you think about it, it's kind of like a music festival or a concert series of some type. You are going to be headlining night 1. And it's still headlining. It's still a headlining act, regardless. Even if it's this is day 1, day 2. No, I just always feel just as far as the musical aspect, if you're top billing in any night, then that's still considered main event, I would think. So I don't know. I could be wrong.
Real quick, Leslie, the thoughts about the 2 things: the Bad Bunny storyline culminating in a tag team match, and Nikki Bella, right? The Bella twins.
Okay. So Bad Bunny, I know a lot of people have been going at it in regards to this on Twitter and Instagram or whatever. I've seen the wrestling articles, but I don't think, if you're not a fan of him, if you don't know who he is, if you're not Latino and you don't understand that representation, then it's really hard to relate, honestly. So for me, and who's watched wrestling, who's seen like these big celebrities come on here, but I can never really connect with anyone. And I've grown up liking Bad Bunny. I love reggaeton. I love Bad Bunny. It's not like I became a Bad Bunny fan once he came to WWE. That's not what happened. So
sorry to cut you off, but you're so young. You can grow up a Bad Bunny. That blows my mind.
Yes!
I'm just old.
Oh God, here we go.
Just continue.
You always make yourself.
You grew up a Bad Bunny. He's been out for like 10 years. Oh wait,
Well,
yes, I am old.
I think I'm that happy median in between, so I think I'm good.
I mean,
it'll happen to you too, Josh.
Yeah, exactly. We're close in age, so. Anyways, yeah, it's a big deal for us because we've never seen any representation like that, even with wrestlers. Like now Andrade is gone too, so it's like, who's really, aside from Rey Mysterio, like who's really like the face of the Latinos that we haven't seen that wrestling in a long time. So not only like, and WWE is smart, guys. Come on, they're smart. They know why they brought Bad Bunny when he's in his prime to their show, because I'm on TikTok and I see like people who aren't even fans of WWE creating TikToks of him on Raw. So it's like more viewers to the company and more money. So it makes sense. But I get like, I know there's a lot of hate, but for me, like it means a lot. And I'm really excited to see that match. It's just another like celebrity WrestleMania match. I don't understand like what the difference is between this one and like the ones we've seen in the past. Period.
Now, James Lott Junior, I know you're not into the current product.
Let me wake up. Okay, go ahead, Cyrus.
I was that boring that I put you to sleep.
I don't watch wrestling. I know none of those names. You're saying names.
You trampled over my transition to prove a point. No, how dare you? As the host, you knew I was going to bridge you to the conversation. I swear to you and your puns.
Come and get me. I don't care. Come get me.
I was going to say, even though you don't watch the current product, for as long as you know that professional wrestling always have tried to be the big spectacle, whether it is the Mr. T's or the Cyndi Laupers or whatever. Even though this particular event is not your favorite, I wonder what it would take for someone like you to even give it a shot. Because I know you and I were talking about this all the time. You say, that's great. I do the soaps. I do wrestling. What would make you go, I'll check this out?
If Madonna did it. Oh no, I mean, I don't know. Okay. There's nothing. It's one of those things. Even with soaps, because I do the soaps, and Josh used to do some of my shows with me at AfterBuzz. It's one of those things. If you're not a fan anymore, chances are you won't tune back in. It's once you leave the rotation of something, chances are you won't go back into rotation. It would take a lot for somebody to bring you back in.
Yeah,
I think it's universal of anything. You said Bad Bunny, like he's wrestling. I mean, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't following that. I had no idea. That's interesting. That sounds kind of interesting to me, but it wouldn't make me watch. I mean, I would need like Madonna and like Barbara Streisand or somebody like. So I need somebody in my realm of reference to come on there, or Run DMC or something. I need somebody to come on there and like, wrestle. I would actually watch it. I mean, the last time I watched wrestling was early '90s, and then before that. Wrestling days. I mean, there's some folks who watch both. But I'm just saying that for me, the last time I watched wrestling regularly was early '90s and late '80s. I mean, that's when you guys weren't born yet. It's like, so I mean, that's the time I watched it. I mean, I went to a wrestling. I mean, I wore that shirt everybody loved. I mean, I actually went to Trump Tower or whatever and watched Taj Mahal and watched wrestling and Hulk Hogan live. I've done that, but I was like it was in my late teens, early 20s. I'm in my 50s now. There's no way I would. There's nothing that would draw me back in. I can't think of anything that would draw me back in.
Yeah.
It's kind of the advantage of being as advanced in age as I am, Leslie.
Shut up.
I remember two distinct periods in my life where you got beat up or made fun of for liking wrestling. That's like, say, 94 to 97, and then like from 2003 to 2008. So when people say I'm not really feeling it anymore, I don't get like mad. Like, how dare you? You got to do it. I don't evangelize wrestling anymore. That's why it's cool if you're like, nah, that's not my vibe. Can we talk about this though? The news you had this week that you got pulled into the wrestling world? Or you want to hold that for later?
It's not a secret or anything. I found out that my great grandfather, who I knew as Kemal Abdurrahman, that was his Muslim name, And actually, I have an uncle, a cousin who was named after him who passed away. His name was Kemmel, and stuff. So I figured out that's where it came from. That my great grandmother's husband, basically, he was a wrestler that was not in the history books. This guy wrote this wonderful article for SlamWrestling.net. I found it came out in February. And my mother and I were just talking about him the other day. I look it up, February. There's this long, lengthy 25-page article on the life of him, and that he was like a Joe Louis and others before, and Hank Aaron, all those folks who were literally one of the first Black wrestling sports heroes that didn't get recognition. He was purposely left out of history books. He went over to Europe and was a huge thing in Europe, but this guy lovingly wrote about him and just all this research, and we actually hooked up. The wrestling folks got in. I was saying the wrestling folks in this one group I joined, you got to find James Lott Junior. They found me. I said who I was. They found him. He emailed me and my mother, and we started talking. So, because I have to find the bad pictures. I have things of him. He was like, I want to do more, and I hope that I hope I didn't miss anything. And I go, well, it's not your fault. I mean, if you didn't know we were around, you didn't find us, And then and then I found another cousin of mine. We found each other. We're like third cousins. He was like, I'm his great grandson too, and so it was kind of a weird kind of thing. So that's what I found out. His name was Reginald Siki, Siki. It was his. And there's a sugar daddy or sweet daddy Reginald Siki came out later, named after him, but he was the original because he was born in 1890.
So basically, you're saying that wrestling is part of your heritage, and that you don't watch is totally an affront to that. I get it, man. Just give him.
It's so funny. My brother JR and I both were huge wrestling fans at one point. He was a wrestling fan longer than I was. We both just kind of stopped. But it's one of those things. It's just funny to find out something that in your own family, because wrestling seems to be something that's around me. I'm friends with all of you. I'm friends with more wrestling people. And it's just funny that's kind of, and at AfterBuzz, there was like these two camps. There was the soap people, there were the wrestling folks. They were considered high regard because we produced our shows. They went on, they were blocks, wrestling blocks. So wrestling was always there on some level. And I said, Josh got to be both. He got to do us, and he also did wrestling. We saw both sides of it, but it's very much, we took our show seriously. Wrestling took their show seriously. I mean, it's kind of like this thing. So it's always been around me, but I just never really fully got into it.
Yeah, I do agree with James. There is a lot of correlation between like soaps and wrestling because they're all character driven and they're all determined on storylines. Like if you have a character that is not doing well in either product, it's not going to do well. If you have a storyline that just plain out sucks, the fans will tell you about it. And that's what I loved and I could appreciate about both soaps and wrestling is that even though their demographics are just super, super, super different and contrasting, when it comes down to like the actual like fundamentals of it, it's the same if you think about it. So
I believe that.
Absolutely. Just a quick fire question. Over the past year in quarantine, one thing I've gotten into, or one thing I've realized it's hard to determine is what is a hit song. When I'm going DJing, you don't really hear songs outside because we're all inside now. Has there been one song or artist you've really leaned into being locked down the past year?
It's kind of tough. I mean, for me, I'm not really listening to top 40 stuff. I'm just kind of digging back.
It doesn't have to be top 40. Just whatever.
No,
I'm going back in time.
Yeah, like I've been going more into like obscure like things like there's this group like I would say R&B soul group by the name of Apple and His Three Oranges that's really good. Okay. And listening to that, and then it's happenstance just watching this documentary on YouTube about this band called Death from Detroit. It's three brothers from Detroit, African American brothers, and they were originally a funk soul band, but then by watching, I believe it was the Who or Alice Cooper, they got into rock, and then they were considered the first punk band in the late 70s. And crazy story about them is nobody wanted to touch that whatsoever because they just thought that was just weird that three like black brothers were doing a totally different genre of music instead of Motown. And so they went undiscovered for so many years until 2009. Their son found some records in the attic, and then all of a sudden they just blew up and became like an uncovered gem. And it's so beloved. So yeah, definitely listen to like a mixture of soul stuff and like early punk stuff, and just kind of just going in all aspects of the musical genre rainbow, I guess.
Yeah, same here. What about you? As far as me trying different things, Les, what about you? Any songs, artists, like decades? You're like, you know what? I'm gonna give this a chance.
Decades.
Hey, ancient music might be the 80s for you. I have no idea.
You're horrible. Oh my God.
I'm horrible.
Yes.
No.
Anyways, it's funny because like I got the same question asked from like a friend the other day, like, who's your favorite artist? And I was like, I can't really like give you my favorite artist because I'm so like diverse. One moment I'm listening to reggaeton, and then another moment I'm listening to like regional Mexican music, and then I'm listening to like R&B, but then I can also listen to like hip hop and rap. So it just depends on like what I'm feeling. I think for a while it was just like reggaeton, and then I really got bored of like the same songs. So like my mixes are completely different. It's just like, okay, what am I feeling today? Let's go do like regional Mexican and listen to like, I don't know, for some reason I've been really missing quinceañeras and like parties like that. So I'm like, let me listen to like dance music so it can like hype me up.
Is there any one artist though, like kind of like, oh man, this person's actually pretty cool. They are going to be in my mix now.
Well, you're gonna be like rolling your eyes. I obviously listen to Bad Bunny like obviously every day, and then Karol G, she just came out with a new album and it's so good. So I really loved like listening to her new album because she mixed a lot of like old reggaeton with new reggaeton, and she brought like a lot of like legends together. So it's like Wisin y Yandel with like Ivy Queen with the new person like Karol G. So it's cool to see. Yeah, you have to listen to a song. I'll let you know, Fabito, which one it is because it's like a mix.
I love old people reggaeton. Like Don Omar was my favorite back in that era.
Don Omar versus Daddy Yankee.
Well, oh yeah, exactly.
That was always the feud.
I was Don Omar guy. The first time because I was growing up as a kid, it was a hip hop mixtape in like 2004. They threw it like Pobre Diabla and like on like the last song on that track, and I was like, oh, this is dope. I feel things, but it's in different languages. I have no idea what's going on.
Definitely connecting with like my Latin roots always, So it's like, it's been mostly like reggaeton and regional Mexican music. There's also like this big group that's coming out in regional Mexican music. They're called Grupo Firme, who started with like backyard like videos on YouTube and literally have blown up within the past year during this pandemic. So it's cool to see that.
Absolutely. Representation matters.
Yeah.
James Lott Junior.
So I'm going to go full on Espanol because for me the last year, I've been going back to the 90s rock and Espanol. I've been listening to La Ley, listening to, I love them. I've been listening to, it's been funny. I've been going back to early Shakira, Os Así is my song.
Yes.
That's death. I'm going to night. I'm doing also a lot of Latina jazz, like Los Amigos Invisibles. I have a lot of stuff. There's a group called Kinky. I love them, and they do songs mostly in Spanish, but they do some songs in English. El Presidente is my song. So I've been going back in time. I mean, there's a Paulina Rubio when she first came out. When she first came out. I've been doing a lot of 90s Espanol. I've been doing a lot of that. I for some reason this last year I've been really tapping into just deep lyrics, great music that's just kind of very, very varied. Because I love rock and Espanol. I like Maná. I like I love groups that do like just they get down. They just get down, and I think people should check them out even if they don't speak Spanish because the music is really good and the vocals are really good. And I do songs in Spanish myself. I have songs in Spanish, and that was kind of my inspiration of them to fuel my latest songs. But I do a lot of that. Been a lot of rock and Espanol. But going back in time, mine's been the 90s. That's been the period.
kind of in the same boat. I'm trying to shore up my Espanol karaoke songs. Ojos de Brujo or Jambar or Macaco. My Viva Rojao is like my favorite. Juanes. Why not Juanes? Remember
Yes.
that dude?
Wait, I have a question, Filipito, because you're from New York. Did you listen to a lot of bachata growing up?
So bachata kind of came and went, like Aventura is kind of my favorite at that time period. But like it was really quick. Like I was the last guy. Like, you got the bachata mix, like
Yeah,
because it was basically like the country music of Dominican Republic. Really, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was my college days, 2003, 4, 5. Yeah. But before we get out of here, you guys down to play a game?
Yeah.
Do it.
Boom! This one here is a three-way true or false. I'm going to ask each of you separate questions. You let me know whether it's true or false or why. Cool.
Okay.
I love it. Starting with my man, James Lott Junior. True or false?
Yeah.
Number one, the only reason I haven't tried stand-up comedy is because I'm afraid of getting booed. True or false?
Es verdad.
No one would boo you. Verdad means true, y'all. I looked it up. Verdadero. No one.
True for you non-Spanish speakers.
This guy.
I'm scared to death. I don't know why. That's one thing I would.
You'll get booed? Really? Okay. I didn't know what the reason was. I'm glad I found it. Leslie, number one. People are legit shocked when they learn I'm a fan of the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yes. It's true. Don't laugh at me, people. And the reason being is because I'm obviously always in LA and I went to school over there. I didn't grow up there. I grew up in San Diego, and they were the San Diego Chargers. So I've grown up in San Diego my whole life. Like going to Qualcomm was like a birthday gift to me. So that's why I am a Chargers fan.
Makes sense.
So I have a valid reason. Okay, people?
I will say that,
fan, but I've never been to Boston. I've only had baked beans and clam chowder, and that's about it.
Whatever.
What's funny is that growing up, because I'm allergic to shellfish, I didn't really have it. I had Manhattan style first before I knew I was allergic, and it's a whole different dish. Like, no one tells you like clam chowder, the white stuff is New England style, and the red.
Wait. Hold on. Before I have to make a point because I saw Haywood put Herbert. Don't become fans within the next 2 years when my team is good, okay? Because then you're jumping on the bandwagon because there's a lot of haters out there.
We had the Patriots signed Henry from the Chargers, right? I think we got Henry.
Yes. Oh, God. We're not going to talk about football with you. We begin fights here.
I'm actually supporting the Houston Texans, but I will say in LA, I would lean more toward the Chargers and the Rams.
That's why we're family.
Josh, number one, true or false? I'm always working to improve, but my graphic design work doesn't get the respect it deserves. True or false?
Damn, that's a good question.
I know.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't say it doesn't get the recognition for people. I don't know. I'm very self-critical of myself, so I always feel like that if I put it out there, it's either gonna just flop or just not get any recognition. I guess no recognition. I don't know. I'm very self-conscious about that, I guess. I don't know. It's like it's a weird thing where, especially in like visual arts and anything, it's always one thing to always share and just get your name out there. But for some reason, I'm just always, enclosed about that. So I guess that's still something I still got to work on and just really present myself and like network a little bit more, which I'm starting to do a little bit, but not to the fullest potential that I can. So I guess true.
If you guys haven't seen Josh, the design for the Wrestling Chatter channel over George Hermosa, which I've been on a couple times. Respect, man. I like the fact you're like true with self. I really respect that. James, number 2 of 3. Everyone gets 3. Number 2, true or false? I am done having kids of my own, but I can't wait to be a great granddad. True or false?
That is a loaded question.
I know.
I can wait for that. Well, it's not fault because oh my God, how do I answer that question? I don't want any more goddamn kids, and I'm too young to be a kid. So I'm like, how do I even answer that question? I call bullshit.
It's got to be true or false. You can't bullshit on the answer.
All I gotta do is be Latino and die. That's all I gotta
Latino.
do.
I love that.
He's like, this interview's over. I'm out. Flip the table.
Good night, everybody.
Number 2, Leslie. People look down upon it. True or false? People look down upon it, but low key, I like going clubbing.
False. Okay, so I'm not. I may seem like I am a very social person, but I don't really go to clubs. I don't really do none of that. So false. That ain't my vibe.
So what do you do to paint the town red? Are you just like a gathering and go home kind of person? Or are you just kind of...
Yeah, like it's more like family gatherings. It's more like I like to do things. I'll go to a football game. I'll go bowling. I'll go like to an event. I like events. Like I love concerts. But clubbing, not really my thing. Like concerts, I always have to go to a concert at least once a year. And I already have 2 planned this year. So
well, you say bowling, say no more, fam. I'm all about that.
yeah, so
I will bowl my ass off. Josh, true or false? I feel within my social network, people come to me the most for advice.
Yeah, true. That happens a lot. I think it's kind of funny because it's not only... I get a lot of messages from former AfterBuzz hosts, like people that either I've met at the beginning of the pandemic or like my first tenure there like 2 years ago and stuff. So I'll get people from that. And then I'll just get hit up by people that I haven't talked to in like months, years and everything like that. And just to catch up on a little bit and then just, ask me for stuff. Like the latest, I think I had a conversation with former producer, like great person to work with, Ryan Nielsen, about moving back to California, and he just asked me some advice about just like moving back, just like to get my opinion on some like apartments and everything. I just gave him the best advice I could. But yeah, no, I guess yeah,
man.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I've always been that type of person. Just people just come up to and just like, hey, can I get your opinion? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll see what I can do and just give you my honest opinion about it. So yeah.
Josh in the booth, you're a real one, dude. I respect that.
He is.
I think that's why
always
kids
gave
like
me the best advice.
Yeah, kids like me for that reason, I guess.
Oh no, build my statue. James, last one for you. True or false? Of all the things I work on creatively, I feel as if my books need the most love from my fans. True or false?
Need the most love?
Yeah. Aren't as appreciated, like compared to your music or content creation or your organization or your panel speaking or okay. I know all day all things you do, bro.
I not do 10,000 things. That's false. I have a lot of book fans who love my books.
Okay. Does anything you think you're doing that needs support at all? Like you think like your music isn't getting supported as much, or your audio dramas, or
Actually, right now I have to say my stuff is evenly kind of matched right now. Everyone's
man.
That's great.
I'm very fortunate right now. I need to put more attention to certain things probably, but I think in terms of attention, I want my audio dramas to get more attention only because we're taking something old and bringing it back, and I'm a little frustrated that mainstream media is not picking up on my hard work. I wish they
will.
They're talking to other people, and I have a feeling why. But I wish they would see what I'm creating. I have these shows that are thousands of downloads, and we're writing them, producing them. I'm directing them. Flobo's on some of them. I mean, I think that they're really good, and I think we should do what we're doing. So,
James, I think at this point you should start playing the name drop game and just say, "Do you know who I know?" and just list off all the people.
Exactly, or what I've done.
Play it. Do it, James.
I believe it. Before I continue, Hayward Wong says, "I'll lose the collab with Lucretia and Leslie." Okay, whatever. I'm not sure. That's fine.
Sure, okay, I don't know Lucretia. I don't know she knows Lucretia. I don't know she knows her.
Oh well, they were both guests on this show. It wasn't one of ours. Leslie, last one for you. True or false? My dreams and goals are shifting, but I am on the right track to achieving them.
True. And I know you asked me this question because you know me so well.
No.
Yes, it's true. I think in the beginning or before, like when I first started this whole thing, I was like set on one goal. And now after Boyce closed and I really like found myself and like chilled for a second, I feel like I am on a different path, still similar into like obviously entertainment, but I'm more confident now than I was before.
Hell yeah. Go on, Leslie. Get that. And lastly, Josh in the booth. True or false? I miss the days when WWE pay-per-views use rock songs for their theme songs for pay-per-views.
Ooh.
Yeah, when I was a kid, that was the bop, right? Saliva, POD, all those stuff. It's
Seether.
hilarious. It's hilarious because if you look back on the style of those dudes, it's just like tank tops with like skulls and tribal tattoos, and just like dudes with dreadlocks that weren't even like black or anything. So
No, they weren't black at all. They were the opposite of black.
Weird, awkward white dude, just like, I don't know, somewhere from Palmdale, I think. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, no, as a kid, it was pretty cool because that was one of the main exposures for me, I guess, in a rock sense. I mean, that and video games, and that just kind of molded me into like a smorgasbord of like all the different stuff that I listen to now. So, I mean, from listening to, I think my favorite pay-per-view theme would be SummerSlam 2002. I forget what Saliva song that was, until like now listening to like contemporary jazz and just like what is it? What was I listening to earlier today? I was listening to Arab music actually. It was just like some chanting Arab music. It was just super soothing to me. I don't know. I just liked it.
Like, not Arab jazz, or are you just saying Arab music just from
Arab,
Arabia?
like traditional Arab music? I don't know why. I just kind of got a fixture in it. I'm just like, I want to take a nap. I want to listen to something relaxing. I just found some Arab music. I'm like, oh, perfect. Awesome.
Wow, you're so interesting.
I love the fact that Josh is like trying to be as ethnically ambiguous as possible. He's like, I listen to Arab music in his apartment.
Right? Yeah,
what's his name? Joshua.
Let me pull out a random vinyl and see what I can get.
So we're gonna get a sneak preview.
Oh, here we go.
What's in his
some random punk album right here. I don't know. I bought that from Amoeba for like $4 or $5, I guess. I don't know.
Wow. Yeah. Before we get out of here, a couple questions. Derek Fisher says, "Will I get the show 21? Probably. I already have Over the Top. I'm sorry, Out of the Park. We go Over the Top here." And Charlene says, "You guys feel like you can call Kevin Maria today, so get their advice." I have never called Maria Munoz in my life. I can text Kevin. He'll get back to me if he feels like it.
Yeah. I think for me, I know them vicariously through my mom, so I feel like if I ever needed anything or just needed some support or just like advice, I know Kevin for sure. Like he's reached out to me a couple times throughout the pandemic, see how we're doing, family overall. He'll check up on me as well. So yeah, definitely with Kev, I've always had a good rapport with him. Like ever since like the first time I'm actually like met him face to face. Yeah, I feel like I can always give him a call or give him a text and say, hey, I have this idea, or just like, hey, I have this. It doesn't have to be show business related. It could just be just like anything, just like going on with just like personal life or anything. Just like, hey, there's something going on here. What's your opinion on that? What's your take on that? And yeah, I think I can. Maybe. I don't know.
Must be nice. Ooh, I won't make it awkward, but that does it for us today on this edition of What's Up Flobo After. Ooh. Yo, thank you so much. I really mean it. All y'all drinking your tea right now?
You know what? I'm drinking my own tea too. So
hey, I got midnight coffee. No, thank you so much. It really means a lot to me for you guys to come out here today, just hang out and chat and all things going on. Let's talk about where people can find you online, starting with you, Miss Leslie.
All right, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at LeslieColon_. Make sure you help your girl out and subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/LeslieColon. I have some cool interviews, some familiar faces for you guys, like Bobito over there. Josh, we need to talk about wrestling together.
Yeah, we gotta do it.
That and tacos.
And, oh yeah, we have an idea that we have pending. Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on. One thing I gotta announce. I just found out about this yesterday. My girlfriend Lorena told me about it. In Norwalk, $12, all you can eat tacos.
I don't like tacos. That doesn't help me out at all. That's the worst idea.
Okay,
all right, ladies and gentlemen, good night.
Wait, promote yourself before you leave my show. Promote yourself before you guys unfollow me. Hey, where you guys go?
Oh my!
Josh the Booth, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok at JOAL323. You can find me at the beaches somewhere fishing at a pier, mainly at Redondo or Manhattan, or at a surf. I don't know. I'm just fishing nowadays, so.
The most interesting man in the world. For the record, I like flautas and esquitas, but James Lott Junior, where can they find you, man?
You can find me where all James Lott Juniors are sold, at James Lott Junior on all social media platforms. I have an online network. It's called JLJ Media. You'll see Flobito on there. I need to get Leslie on one of my shows and Josh on my shows. We got to do that. We got to do that. But I have over 35 shows ranging from Star Wars to soaps and everything in between. Check me out on every single audio streaming platform service and on YouTube, JLJ Media. Plus, I'm a star on TikTok, apparently. So follow me on TikTok.
Yes.
I have a video that went viral that everyone's watching. It's at 2 million views, and I'm ready to cry. But I'm on TikTok at James Lott Jr.
James is so modest when he says that. When he says, "Oh yeah, I'm a TikTok star," just casually, whatever.
You're so cool. I want to grow up to be like you.
Yeah. You know what? Sidebar. James and I actually had a conversation about a few months ago, I believe. We were talking about the underground art scene in the 1980s with Jean-Michel Basquiat and Keith Haring and all those people. And James and I had a really cool conversation about that. So
I think that your shirt's kind of an understatement. I think you're more than a local celebrity, but that does it for me in this edition of Wassup Flobo After Hours. I'll be back here next week. Hopefully we'll get Bernice Yee in here. But until next time, y'all, after hours are closed.
The baddest in the land. Always can. Don't you know?